You know, I have a theory. I have a theory that when I'm more anxious and panicked, my commentary tends to be better. We're gonna see if that's the case today, because it's 9:06 p.m., I have to be at work at 12 o'clock, and I still haven't, you know, commentated and rendered this video, nor uploaded it. So, with this limited amount of time to do this crap, let's get started! Click! Oh damn, Battle of Arishia. So, yeah, Battle of Arishia. Arishia is Marth's home place. He's all like, dude, don't fucking take it from me. I'm gonna take it back because it belongs to me. It's like a basketball. Except, alright, that was a dumb metaphor. Anyway, so, as it says here, shit's been going bad, and the Kingdom of Arishia is, quote-unquote, a beautiful country, as it says here, but it should be was, because, like, it's not like that now, because now they're saying, oh, it's in ruin and the crops are failing, and I guess the bad guys just don't know how to farm. Speaking of which, there is actual farmland on this map, which I find interesting. Not sure why, but, like, look at that, just 6 patches of farmland. Like, is that all that Arishia has? I mean, obviously, actually, you know what, that makes sense, because now the place is shitty, so maybe that's why it only has 6 pieces of farmland. I'm not sure, like, what other places have farmland, actually, come to think of it. Can't think of any other places, but then again, it's such a minute detail. Anyway, yeah, so Marth explains, yeah, I got out of Altia when it was invaded because my sister helped me. He doesn't explain how, but I believe he got warped out. At least that's what I remember from Shadow Dragon's beginning. So, something you're gonna notice from the start is that I send Marth all the way over to the left by himself, just, you know, he's an introvert, he needs to have time by himself. And I send everybody else down south, because they're southerners. I have a very strange strategy for this chapter. So, last episode, I gave Marth the boots, so now he has 11 move. There's nothing to the west of this island. Like, there's nothing interesting. There's one thief, and that's it. However, there's another thing. In the northern forts, I believe that enemies will reinforce after Marth reaches a certain point on the west side of the map. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get Samson, and then I'm gonna get the fuck out of there. Samson's a really good unit, by the way. Yeah, like, some of his stats are nearly maxed. The only problem is, at this point in the game, I'm not really sure who the fuck I'm gonna use anymore, because as far as I'm concerned, the only units I need at this point is Linda, Merrick, if even I need Merrick, and my Pegasus Riders. Like, say what you want about FE3, like, FE3 is not a very, like, it's not a game that's very positively representative of women when it comes to, like, its story. There's, like, a lot of women who are, like, victims in need of redemption if they're the villains, or they're being misguided or tricked, or, you know, they're passive or some other shit. Say what you will of them, but the women in this game tend to also be the best fighters, which, when you think about it, considering that Fire Emblem, at least this one, is sort of based on the mythology, like, inspired by the mythology of Greece, it makes you think of Amazons. Another thing is that ancient Greece had very different, like, stereotypes for men and women. Men were the more diplomatic ones, whereas women were the more, like, impulsive, perverted ones. Like, that was actually a thing back then. Women were perverted as a stereotype. It's, like, nowadays it's, like, the other way around. That's so weird. But yeah. Where else was I going with this? So yeah, Martha's gonna head back. Samson visits that house just so that you know what it says. The other village closes when you visit the one with Samson in it, and that's because they don't like each other. They're petty assholes. What's cool is that in book 2, Marth actually brings this up, like, dudes, like, you gotta fix it eventually. Like, and it's almost the same exact conversation, too, when you visit that village. The only difference is that Marth interrupts and is like, dude, come on. It's been, what, 2 years and you still haven't done jack shit to fix things? Get your act together. Jeez. So yeah, this part is interesting. So, at the start of the chapter, you have a huge clump clump of like cavalry, like just right in front of the castle, and they're gonna charge to the west. However, if you position your units in such a way that they can only get hit by a ranged attack, the archer dudes will feel compelled to run back, and then you can just single them out as like just 3 units and then quickly kill them, while the other dudes just kind of mind their own business. So you can safely take them out, and that greatly lowers the defenses of this fort, basically leaving just the mage and those 2 generals there to just kind of fuck around. And since we're women, we'll just kick the shit out of them, because that's how women work in Fire Emblem 3. Except for Sheeta. Sheeta's lack of strength is really starting to catch up to her. Even with an armor slayer, she tends to struggle against these guys. That thief, he's just gonna stay there forever. Once you visit those villages, he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. He just kind of chills out, and I leave him alone for most of the time. So that weird police officer dude inside the prison, that's Cheney. It's kind of annoying to recruit him. So what I do is there's usually the hero stands in front of the door. I use Linda to attack him, but then he runs away because he can't do anything to her, and he's low in health, so I guess he just wants to run away. So what happens typically is that Cheney, because he wants to reach you, he'll stand in front of the door instead. So once you open it, there's an empty space between, like where the door was, that is between you and Cheney, that the heroes can sort of fill in. So you want somebody to fill in that space before they have a chance to take advantage of that. But if you stand in front of, like directly in front of Cheney, that gives this hero, this thunder sword wielding hero, an opportunity to kick your ass. So you want to use somebody who's high in resistance. And then from here, it's kind of awkward, because Cheney's still in front of you, but you want him out of the way. You can't just attack him because, you know, he's a unit that you could use for powers and stuff. So you actually have to wait for Marth to get his ass back over there just to talk to him, just to convince him to move the fuck out of your way. Fucking inconsiderate dickweed. I actually do like Cheney as a character, though. Something about his, like, prankster personality just appeals to me. Plus, he's androgynous. He's a very, like, individual person. He's very individualistic and just eccentric. That's how I would describe him, just based on the dialogue in Book 1 and Book 2. So yeah, I had the incredible idea of, hey, let's have Sheeta fight this boss with a killer lance up close. Later on, I realized, wait, he has a killer lance up close. I should not do that. And then I just opt to warp Linda in there and fuck him up, which I should have just done right away, honestly, because, I mean, I wasted 2 reblow staves just to heal Sheeta, when I could have just had fucking Linda take care of the dude in, like, 1 round of combat. And not have to waste the healing shit. Anyway, yeah. Cheney doesn't really talk, like, his personality doesn't really shine here, but I mean, just look at the dude. He's all chill and shit. And here's his ability. He has the special ability to transform! Man, Cheney is such a metrosexual with that fucking outfit. But yeah, he turned into another metrosexual. That's his ability. And now he can properly defend himself against that hero right over there, who has a silver sword. And if we all remember, heroes in this game are a pain in the ass. So yeah, we've pretty much wrapped up this chapter. The rest of these units, like, once you know how to, like, disorganize them with the AI trick I mentioned earlier, like compelling the ranged units to split up, the rest of the enemies are just straight up ineffective. Like, there's just nothing they can do to you. Now, Cheney, I've never found much use for him. I feel like in really skilled hands, he would be a super good unit, though. Anyway, Linda takes more experience. Hot damn, she deals so much damage. Notice that she got a promotion item, but it's not the one she needs. This is one of the few Fire Emblem games where each class has, like, a separate promotion item. It's kind of like Fire Emblem 7, where you need Guiding Rings to promote mages, Knight's Crest to promote cavaliers and knights. I've always been kind of unsure about that kind of design choice, because while it does allow you to more properly balance the game, like control like which units promote and stuff, I've never felt it's been done well. And I also prefer to have more control over who I promote and who I use. And, you know, getting like 5 million Knights Crests early in the game and 1 Guiding Ring like in the middle of the game, just, I find it frustrating personally, because I like using mages, as you can plainly fucking see. Anyway, she gets a lot of shit. She gets a Dragon Shield, which is totally going straight to her. Like, I'm just gonna emblazon that right into her butt. And she's gonna just have a butt of steel. I don't even know, like, if she has the proper butt with which to, defend attacks with, but you know what, I'm gonna chance it. That 2 defense needs to go somewhere, you know? But yeah, later on in the game, we are going to get an item that's going to heavily improve her defense growth, and I'm gonna exploit the living fuck out of it, because, I mean, this playthrough is slowly turning into let's solo the game with Linda and all the other hot chicks in the game. So yeah, I take this moment to visit all the houses and be like, yeah, these are my civilians. They're happy to see me. And they don't really have anything interesting to say. I mean, that one was just like, hey, thanks for fucking up the bad guys. And this guy's like, member card. Yeah, that's the thing that exists. It allows you to go into VIP shops, but I don't know where they are. I don't know where it is either. I'd probably have to look it up. I'm sure somebody in the comments will be like, yo, it's right there. You didn't even think. Yeah, this guy's like, oh shit, dude, there's orbs. If you get them, crazy shit happens. And this chick is just like, oh, the princess has been taken by such an evil man. I feel so terrible for her. I don't know what it is about making fun of Jewish stereotypes, but it just appeals to me. Call me a racist or whatever, I don't care. I have Jewish heritage. I love Jewish people, let's be clear here. Anyway, I'm gonna check my notes over, just I'm really glad I gave Marth the boots, yada yada yada. Killer Lance shit. Area with the shops and stuff. Sent Marth to the left. Talk about Amazons. I guess the only thing left I have to say is that what the fuck were the designers thinking when they thought to put only 1 enemy over to the west? Now, to my understanding, they expect you to head to the west with Marth, because they have it set up so that I think, now I haven't confirmed this, but if you head down the west area with Marth, that's what triggers the reinforcements in the upper forts to start coming after you, and they all come at you at once. So I think that was their intention, is that was supposed to be the challenge, is that you were getting basically backdoor ambushed from a bunch of enemies. And you might be compelled to try to block those forts, you know? But, like, otherwise, like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, if you don't go that way, what's their, like, it just has no point. Anyway, Marth makes an epic speech like, oh yeah, we gotta liberate our land, we did it, now we just need to kick the guy's ass in the castle, which if I remember right, there's a particular dude in there who is a certain murderer of the Marthman's mom. Oh man, time to get some awesome revenge on another guy who fucking killed our parents. Like, Joel killed his dad, and then this person killed his mom. It's like a duo of evil, or I don't know. I have nothing to add to this. Bye.